Good evening. It's Tuesday night, mega night. Tuesday party. Thought I'd let you hear a couple of bars of Epidemic Sound instrumental. Are royalty free. Yes. Are royalty free. Background music, if you will. Yeah. Here we are. 8 stories above chops. And we're ready for the Mega Millions. Yeah, see if anyone won it. I don't know. Don't know how I can broadcast it, so to speak. But I'm working on it. Okay. Let's turn this coin around. There you go. Yeah. This thing I can throw away. So according to Lottery Central, these are the numbers on April 21. This was drawn about 40 minutes ago. Almost exactly 40 minutes ago. 136, 43, 56, 58, Mega Millions Ball 7. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, so there we go. There we go. I'm right of middle. That's right. And here is the full screen. There you go. See right there, column 1, first column. April 21, Mega Millions. $140 million. Wow. It's easy to have your mouth watering over that. Your chances of winning that is 290 million to 1. It ain't happening. I know, I'm just trying to be a little realistic. 290 million to 1 odds, it will not happen. But who knows? Someone's got to win. If you don't have a ticket, you ain't gonna win. That's the lure. But if you did win, Jimmy, this is advice to myself, and you're just listening in radio land, TV land out there. Jimmy, if you did win, the jackpot is equivalent to the net present value of the future cash flows. Yes, that's what NPV is if you're a statistics person, which I am not. Yep. That is the present value of the future cash flows. That annuity. What annuity? This annuity, where on day one, this is if you to accept the annuity, you get that on day one, assuming Jimmy, you're the single winner, and you want to choose the annuity. It's a 5% growing annuity. And the question is, it has to add up to 140 million. So what would the first payment be? So it's a 5% growing annuity. There it is. 2,107,200. I rounded it to the nearest 100, I think. Or maybe the nearest $10, not too sure. Notice the next payment is 5% bigger than the previous payment. That's why I show a series of 3 payments. And the third payment is 105% of the second payment. The second payment is 105% bigger than the first payment. So the question is, what would that first payment be? So when you add them all the way up, the 30 payments, what would that add up to? Yeah, 140 million. And did that happen in my case? Let's take a look. We're going to go to my actual...
45.
Hey! My dog is got ants in her pants. So we're going to go here to my spreadsheet, and I'm going to show you. Hey, knock it off. A is for horses. All right, there's my actual spreadsheet. See the 140 million? Let's see, I have to, I gotta shrink it up a little bit so that you guys can see everything I can see. There we go. Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna see, there's the 140 million, the rollover, the green dot. And we're gonna go all the way across. We're gonna look at the bottom row. These are all those future payments. There you go. We can go right. There you go, right up in the top of your screen. Yeah. Don't bring this whole thing. There we go. Oh, look at this. Payment 19, payment 20, payment 21. Look how big the payments are. They're growing. They're 5%. The 5% keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. 5%, 5%. Look at that. 139,999,893. So we would, if James, if you did win the $140 million jackpot, see it over there on the Orpheus screen. And this spreadsheet controlled anything. Yeah, which it doesn't. We would have to, that 8,000,006 number right there, that 30th payment, we would have to increase that $107. And that would bring us up to 140,000,000. Yeah. You say, why is that not exactly right, Mr. Precision? Well, because I'm rounding. I'm rounding to the nearest dollar. So it goes up, it goes down. You get 49 cents or lower, goes down. 50 cents or above, it rounds up. So rounding up and rounding down, all 30 payments. The net result is off by $107. It's close enough. Yeah, it's close enough. Yeah. So there's a payment. That's how that works. I will now close my lottery thing. I mean my spreadsheet, because I don't want anything to happen to that. So what I do is I make a print screen. Excuse me, this is a print screen of what you just saw. So I can, you know, I can manipulate this any way I want to. I can turn it upside down, and the numbers are the same. I can't change it, and I can't louse it up. See, when you have a print screen, when you're in the Excel or the numbers spreadsheet, and it's a touch screen, which this iPad is, you know, that's why I do a print screen, and then it's a photograph. It's a PGN file. Yeah. So what happens if you want to take the lump sum? There it is. $63,340,000. That's what you would put on your tax return on line 1H. The miscellaneous income. Yeah. On your 1040 tax return. I want to do a dummy tax return with a number like that in there, and let's see what TurboTax does. Whoa! And show that 24% of that number is a withholding tax. Woo! Well, anyway, after that withholding tax, you're actually going to get $48,138,400. That's going to go into your TD Bank account, Jimmy. That's quite a ACH credit. That's what they do. They do an ACH credit. They tell you to tell your bank that a big deposit is coming, and it's not a typo. Jimmy, give them this number, 148,138,400. Because that certainly is going to make that branch manager the Manager of the Month award. But, Jimmy, be careful, because this next number, this 8,234,200, that's what you're going to have to pay more, because you're in the 37% tax bracket. That's the maximum tax bracket. There's 7 tax brackets in the one big beautiful bill that was signed into law last year. Not authored by Donald Trump, but promoted by Donald Trump. Had a lot of, and it's a permanent tax. Yeah, it doesn't sunset. It is permanent. Which can probably be changed by another law, but they'd have to change it by another law. Okay? Permanent tax cut. So since you're in the maximum tax bracket and you've only withheld 24%, see right here in black and white, jackpot after 24% tax. There it is. So see in the top there, in the top, jackpot after 24% FIT, federal income tax. And then hold and blow, you know, a year later when you do your tax return for 2026, which we'll do in 2027, TurboTax is going to say, Jimmy, you owe another $8,324,000 or 234. That's the remaining 13% FIT, federal income tax. Yeah. using all this. See on the top? Jackpot lump sum payout subject to 37% tax, less this additional federal tax, FIT of 13%. That's the 8 million to be won. After that, 39,904,000. That's the jackpot lump sum payout after all federal income tax. The maximum tax is 37%. Yep. So make sure you put that 8,234,000 in the side pocket somewhere. You create another account and put it in there. And if they'll pay you 4%, 8 million, 2, 3, 4, wow, times 0.04 equals 300 what? $329,000. Oh, wow. Can you imagine? That's just the interest on that's the interest on the 8,234,000. Yeah, $329,000. $330,000 in round numbers. Yeah. Unbelievable. And then after all that is said and done, you're going to end up with 39,904. So when you start planning on giving some of this money away, which we all think of doing, so the first thing I do is I cut the cake in half. My plan, Jimmy, is to have a check writing party at the Boca Resort and invite the family and friends that are subject to receiving a sizable check. Well, you can tell me your routing and transit number and your account number, and I'll do a wire transfer. I don't know. Yeah. I'll write you a check you can deposit. First thing I do, I take that roughly $40 million, because remember you got 329,000 sitting over there in the side pocket as interest on that jackpot. So 40 million, divide that in half, that's 20 million. Got 4 kids. We're going to give some of this money away as per Stirpes. You can look that up. As per Stirpes. It's like a chain of command, You got the guy at the top, and you got the next level. Well, the next level is our 4 children. Lee, Robin, Brennan, and Daniel in the order of their birth. So we're going to take that 40 million divided in half. 20 million goes over here in the Marilyn Jimmy bucket for the moment. And the other 20 million gets divided in half again. So you got 10 million and 10 million. The 10 million is going to be split 4 ways. So that means each kiddo gets $2.5 million. Write them a check for $2.5 million. Maryland. Write them each a check for $2.5 million. So now we have that's 10 million. So now we have the other 10 million. So what are we going to do with that? Well, we have 8. We have, let's see. We have Bob and Jane. We got Janine. We got Janine's daughter. We've got Marilyn's sister up there in Wisconsin. That's 4 people. So we're going to give them each $1 million. Oh, and I got George. So there's 5. So you're going to pay $5 million. And we have our 2 charities. So $2 million, we're going to put it in an interest-bearing account at 4%. And we're going to every month pay them the interest on the money. $2 million. Let's see what that would be. So get our trusty calculator here. $2 million times 0.04 equals $80,000. Divide that by 12. Divide that by 2. So each of the 2 charities, and one is the Children's Hospital, Danny Thomas Children's Hospital, St. Jude, I think it's called. Every month they're going to get a check for $333,300. And Tunnels for Towers is going to get a check for $3,333. So they're going to get the interest on each of them is going to get it. Each of them. So it's $1 million each. But they're not going to get the principal. They're going to get the interest. And every month they're going to get this nice, which is pretty nice. I mean, that's like, like a, 100 households, give them $30 a month. Yeah. So that's, let's go back to our thing. That's how you think about giving away the money, Jimmy. Yeah. Then what would we do with the other 20 million? 20 and 20 is 40. Yeah, 20 million. Well, let's go buy, like a $5 or $6 million condominium somewhere. Like in the Boca Hotel property, we might find one. They got security gates. Yeah. When it goes through the buildings, so you see, you go all the way one way and you see over the ocean. You go over the other way, and you see the what do you call it? Coastal waterway on Lake Boca. No, whatever. Or you look north south. Find a nice condo for, let's say, $6 million. Then you got $14 million left over. You take $10 million, put it in an interest-bearing account. Go back to our calculator. 10 million times 0.04 equals 400,000 divided by 12. There you go. So you put that 10 million in an interest-bearing account in the side pocket, and every month you got $33,000 to deal with. Well, your condominium, maintenance fee, yeah. And this condo is probably going to be 3,000 square feet. So you're going to pay, $3,000 a month probably in the fee to the homeowners association. And, your real estate taxes, that could be another 3,000. So that, that could cost $10,000 a month just for taxes, insurance, and the CAM fee. Yeah, that's what you do. There we go. Anyway, with $33,000 a month, you got a big expense budget for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, plenty of money to play with, and it's a multi-generational amount of money. Now we drop dead. 20 million gets, we'd have 20 million worth of assets, at least. That would then get split up between our 4 children. Yeah. So they each get another $5 million worth of stuff. Not bad. Gave them $2.5 million to begin with. Give them another $5 million. That's inherited, so there's a certain amount of money. I think Trump did away with the death tax. Can you imagine? So that $5 million is tax-free. So that's how that's what happens with those ping pong balls. Let's go to Lottery Central. Let's push the button here. Get rid of that. You don't want to louse with my spreadsheet. No, please don't. We're going to close this up. And we're going to restart it. Let's see if they... see, it says not available. That means they don't have this winning numbers. Go to Mega Millions. Yeah, see, they don't have the April 22nd ones up yet. So another 30 minutes. And then I'll show you how we put it in the spreadsheet. And is it a rollover or does somebody win? That's the magic question. Yeah. Did somebody win? Whew, I don't know. Let's... Still living home. My little doggy's in the bed here. Yeah, let's see if that should be. I'm looking for a cat. I don't see a cat. It's not in that chair. It's not in that chair. It may be on the pillow on this couch here. Oh, there's Jimmy. See that? Creeping around trying to get things turned off. Oh, I'm looking for... There's the dog. I'm looking for the dog's bone. Yeah. And I found it. A little skinny bone. So she can chew on something other than my leg. Yeah. Anyway. Enough of that. Happy dog. So let's go back into my... Okay, well, I don't see. There's a little bundle of joy taking a nap. What time? This is at 12:02 p.m. A little lunchtime nap. Yeah. And we went out for a walk for about a half hour. Ran her little brains off. So, let's see, yes. Tim Cook decides to retire as CEO. Yeah. Tim Cook is stepping down. No one is shocked. They've been working on a chain of succession for, and this guy supposedly, look at this guy, John Turnus. Turnus, jeez, not a very attractive person, but what are you gonna do? Looks like some poor little puppy that's gotten whipped. Yeah, he doesn't like. He looks like he needs a life. Yeah, other than Apple. I shouldn't say that. Maybe rides a bike and does everything. These two. I wonder if these two ride a bike. I don't know. AOC drops a surprise verdict on Donald Trump golfing during the Iran war. Yeah. News has leaked out that Apple is working on an AI pen. Personal little intelligent thingy. It charges up. There's no ports anywhere. So it's entirely waterproof. You can drop it in the toilet and pick it right back. Don't flush it. You rinse it off and dry it off. That'd be perfectly good, I think. It charges like an Apple Watch. You put it on this disc and it's energized. How much battery power I got left of this thing? Oops, 34%. I better have a little battery gauge in my watch face. Oops. There we go. I just did a print screen, so we'll see the watch face come up in my picture gallery in a couple of minutes. So it's charging. It's a rapid charger, so in 20 minutes it'll be ready to go. All right, here's the watch face. So that's what the watch face looks like. You see that 34% right there? That's the watch battery. And this 87%, that's the amount of energy we have in the fuel tank. That's equivalent to 233 miles of range, which is 87%. I can touch that and it turns into miles. I'll do it when I'm watching. This middle circle on the top, which is blank, right there, with the red dot over it, that's my sleep score. Well, I haven't gone to sleep yet, so I have no score. This one, 10, is that's the timer for cooking. So I touch that, and it's got all kinds of different choices for different times that you may want to select. You touch it, and like if you're boiling spaghetti, it tells you when to turn off the heat and pour the spaghetti through the strainer. And the top right corner is my blood oxygen level, which Apple just won a court case. So that may have a value in it. Right now, it doesn't show anything because Apple lost the court case, the appeals court, and they won it. So, if I were Apple, I'd turn that sucker back on. Because the copyright, I think, ends next year anyway. So this company overseas keeps gnawing at Apple, You got a big, you got a big company like Apple. You got all kinds of devices and all kinds of software. And, you get all kinds of people saying, "Oh no, you infringed on my patent." Can't do that. Well, you're right. You shouldn't do that if they are infringing on an actual patentable whatever it is. Yeah. So here's the AI pen. Apple is reportedly developing a new wearable device called the AI pen, which could define how you interact with technology. It could look up things. It can keep track of where you are and make announcements to you on you're standing in front of the Treasury Department building. Such building was built in the year, 1821 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or you could ask it, I'm getting ready to go into Costco. Where's the popcorn? Take me to the free popcorn. So it's going to search through the entire internet and see where the hell is popcorn? And then you're going to find it and it's going to tell you. It's 7 rows down, look to the left. All right, well, you just hang right in there. And where's row 1? Go in the front door.
It's 12:15.
Walk to the first aisle that you see breaks to the left. And then walk straight towards the back of the store. As you walk back, count the aisles on the left sequentially. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get to the 6th, 7th aisle, make a left turn. Before you enter the aisle, look to the left. That's where they're serving free popcorn. Look, lo and behold, there it is. That's a stupid example with AI, but but the other thing you could do is it could be hanging in there, interacting, of course, with your phone and your watch. And it could tell you, it could say, Jimmy, your blood oxygen level has dropped to 87. Please find a park bench and sit down and rest for a minute while your blood oxygen level gets over 90, please. It's at 87 and dropping. Have a seat, or else you're going to fall down. And we don't want to fall down. You might hit yourself, bang your head, whatever. Yeah. That's a very reasonable use of such a thing. And the alarm goes off. Yeah. My Apple Watch told me that my pulse went way up. It went up to like, 130 beats per minute. Looking at my watch, it's 130. What the heck? If I was running for 30 minutes, your heart rate gets way up there. I'm sitting on a couch watching the news at 6:05 p.m. watching Bret Baier. Bret starts off with the news. My watch says 140 beats per minute. Holy crap. I put on my blood pressure cuff, which I have right here somewhere. And I put it on my arm and it says 200 over 100. Holy mackerel. Let's do that again. I did it again. It was like 197 over, 110. Oh, God, this is even worse. That second number is the killer. Because that's the residual pressure after between heartbeats. And that number needs to be down around 70 or 80, not 100. because arteries pop, like in your head, and you get a stroke, or elsewhere, and you could get a blood clot. That's even worse. Yeah, well, it's not worse. It's equally as terrible. I keep looking over there to see what time it is. Going through a little history here, and New York Post covers. Yeah. Swalwell's Congress pals joined in his den fuckery. Disgraced Republican Eric Swalwell, representative, he's a Democrat, excuse me. Displaced Representative Eric Swalwell, California, is Democratic member, is he resigned from Congress because he was pushing himself around with the girls, let's put it that way. Even to the extent of perhaps drugging them and then taking advantage of them while they're in some kind of a drug-induced stupor. Yeah. So we'll have to turn in his congressional pin, which is like a free pass to get into government buildings. Yeah. That was this weekend, yeah. Big, beautiful bills. Happy returns. Tax returns, that is. Because everyone's going to get, look at that. They have a big smile on their workers. Workers rejoice as Trump's law bumps tax refunds on average 11% to an average of $3,462. That's the average, married couple, doing a tax return. Family of three, you got your house, you do your TurboTax. Yeah. That was on April 17th. Yeah, we got $900. I got the refund already. Like in a week. Usually takes 21 days. Bam. They got it back right away. They're trying to get the economy stimulated, so Trump's buddy twisted his arm and said, get the IRS, get that money out. Don't sit on it. There's another monster in the house. More women accuse Swalwell of rape, drugging, and assault. Oh my God. This sucker's going to go in jail. And he was a thorn in Trump's butt. Well, see who laughs. Laughs the loudest, as they say. Rumors of mistreating women are dogging Representative Eric Swalwell for years, but Democrats ignored them by his star rose. Now the floodgates have opened, including from Lana Droas, who claims he drugged and choked her and raped her. Yeah, he's in serious trouble. All right, here we are. Straight to the point. Trump made the vice president in charge of solving that problem. And I guess he doesn't like him anymore. That's a problem. I don't think it's going to go away right away. It'd be, and if they agree to something, they're not going to live by it. They're cheats. Yeah. The bad people that are basically imprisoned 93 million people in the country. They got all the guns. The people have no choice. They publicly hang, 3 or 4 people a day just as a reminder of how sinister they are and how American warships open Hormuz advances talks with Iran fail. This was April 12th. So now they're back again, supposedly meeting with them today, tomorrow. They ain't getting anywhere, those people. They're bad. There's 140 rollover. Let's try lottery again. This is photographs. That's the only album. Open. Press the lottery icon right up there with the swan and lottery on it. That's the Florida logo for all the lotteries. Still says not available. About another 15 minutes. Go back to photos. All right, so I showed you what to do with the money. I explained to you about this has a huge formula underneath that. I found the formulas. Let me show you what they look like. Oh my God. It gives me a headache just looking at them. They're right up here somewhere. No, come on. Now when is this recently saved and not? There they are. Yeah, I mean they should be in my. That's the formula. Right here. This right here. Yep. The first payment, P1. S is the lottery, the 140 million. 1 plus 0.05 to the 30th power, because there are 30 payments, minus 1, divided by 1.05. And S is the 140 million, and that gives you your first payment. Yeah, it took me 2 weeks to figure out to get that in there. There's the formula that's in the spreadsheet. Yep. And then I drew a little graph. Just type down first payment. Solve for P, here's P, and then this is the formula that represents in Excel spreadsheet language. There's the formula again. There's that formula, yeah. Now, why am I not finding it in my favorites? I don't see it. How can that be? Recently saved. It's right there. It's right next to April 21. Let's try it again. We'll go back to favorites. It is not there. But yet I see it on recently saved. Very strange. January 8th is when I actually did the work on this. Yeah, geez. 4 months ago, man.
It's 12:30.
It's 12:30. We're going back to favorites. Let's go to maps. Then we go back to favorites. Go there. Favorites. Still not there. Anyway. We see it under recently saved. We don't see it in favorites. Makes no sense to me, but that's something that's not quite right. I wonder if I did something to them. Let's go to recent saved. Come over here. And let's edit them. Let's just crop it a little bit differently. And let's erase the arrow. Now save it. This next one, same thing. Just crop it a little differently. Yeah, which is cropped it just slightly differently. Save it. There's another formula. All right. Edit it. We'll crop it out. Crop it a little differently. Save it. Go back to, let's see, they got a lot of hearts on them. And I'll go back to the favorites. Let's see if it's anywhere. Let me see. It still is not. Yeah, well, I know where to find it. It's supposed to, everything with hearts on it, it's supposed to show up in this right here. Probably in January 8th. Let's see how we get to January 8th. Wow. What month is this? This is September, oh my God. December, okay. We're getting closer. 7:31. January 5th. January 6th. January 8th. Where's the formulas? There they are. Okay. Yeah, I just have to go to January 8th. There they are. In living color. Whew. That was. There it is. Yeah, that's the formulas I had to deal with. Anyway. It's Maryland a long time ago. Jimmy. All right. Back to here. Go back to the library. Thanks. And go to the top of this and do the old expando thing. You can see 3 at a time. Yeah, there we go. Now you see 5 at a time. Yeah. Uh-huh. Looks like my own husband. Let's check this. This is Saturday at 10:30 a.m. I'm like asleep or half asleep. See, look at the dogs laying over top of my face. Look at it. Dr. Zorba. Here's a little something I keep talking. I've been talking to you about my control station is my MacBook Pro, right up here. The 15-inch diagonal screen. There it is. Apple MacBook Pro Air, MacBook Air, M5 chip. Still the best MacBook for most people. Absolutely. Now, if you were editing 8K movies, not 4K, but 8K movies, where you had lots of bits and bytes, editing those kinds of movies, maybe you need, a super, computer. But for everyone else, which, I do a lot of digital editing, and that MacBook Air is, and, actually this iPad, look at this thing. 5.3 millimeters thick, thin. Has a all-day battery, touchscreen. And, you connect it to this keyboard. It's just like a laptop with a touchscreen. It's a 13-inch screen. Fits right in your briefcase. Carrying case. With black handles on it. Little leather carrying case. Yeah. And you pull out a monster. Something that's really capable of. There we go. There we go. These are all headlines from Flipboard. Now these are, gosh darn, these are pictures of Flipboard screens. So that's how I, this is my phone over here in this corner. I do a print screen. When like that, there it goes. Get that check mark, send the photos. Now that print screen is going to be in my recently saved. Any second now. There it is. There it is. This is this is actually Wednesday, but Tuesday during when the market closed at 4 o'clock, the Dow was down to 49,149. Tesla was down to 386, and Nvidia was down to 199. Now we can go to my stock app called Stocks, STOCKS, and touch Tesla. This is the articles written about Tesla. Full self-driving taxi services getting ready. You know, Dallas and Houston. It's going to get robotaxi and robocab, which means it's robotic without a driver. The computer does it all. I told my friends. Friends said, "Oh, it doesn't work. I don't hear it." I said, "Where have you been?" I went to Maryland said, "Let's go to Disney for my birthday." So in March, sometime in March, we went to Disney. And we made reservations at the Hyatt Grand Cypress Hotel. So I said, "Marilyn, what's the address of the Hyatt Grand Cypress?" Typed it in my phone, sent the address to the car. We got in the car with, our roll-out bags, only staying a couple of nights. Brandon and Daniel watched our cats, came in and fed the cats every day and made sure the water was working. And, we didn't have a dog then. Now it gets so good. We probably have to take the dog with us. Anyway, so I drove the car out of the parking garage and I said, "Okay, Marilyn, here's the address," which I had on my iPhone. I sent it to the car and it's in the navigator. And got the navigator going and all the prior addresses, including the one that was just sent to the navigator from my iPhone when we were upstairs. I'm touching the address. It is now it's plotting a course. We'll be there in 4 hours and 45 minutes. I said, "Are we ready to go?" So we're out of the garage, and I pulled over on one of these tiny side streets, getting ready to get onto Federal Highway northbound. And I said, "Are you ready?" Because I'm gonna push the button, basically the start button for full self-driving. Supervised, which means you keep an eye on things, but you don't have to touch the steering wheel, and you don't have to touch the brake or the accelerator pedal unless you think that the robotics is failing and you need to save yourself. So I pushed the start button and off it went. It took us right where we were going. It stops for red lights, makes left-hand turns, right-hand turns the signal on first, accelerates very smoothly, rapidly. It stops, as if you were doing your own foot pedal work. And I rarely actually touch the brake pedal. I just lift up. You drive the Tesla like it's a big golf cart. 1 foot on that accelerator pedal. You lift up a little bit and the car starts to slow down, or slow down more rapidly the more you lift your foot up off the pedal. You push the pedal down, it accelerates. So that's it. You just go up and down on the accelerator pedal, because it either accelerates, stays the same, or as you lift your foot up, varying amounts of braking because of the regenerative brakes, which means that the more you lift up on your foot, the more drag on the wheels and the motor, because the motor turns into a generator and throws energy back into the battery. Anyway, it took us right to the front door. I did not have to intervene. It drove right up the front main thing and made a right turn into the hotel property and took us right to where where these people are looking to help you with your handbags. You have to leave the Tesla
It's 12:40.
card. You have to give it to them, and they give you as they park the car, get a thing with you keep in your pocket. You don't want to lose it, because that number retrieves your car whenever you want your car. Yeah. So took us right to the front door. When it was time to go home, I said, "All right, man." I touched the home button, which loaded the address into the navigator for going home. 101 Bosrael South, Boca Raton, Florida. Yeah. Went through heavy rainstorms and everything. And there's a big piece of rubber from a broken tire. It swerved around that rapidly, so we wouldn't run over it and lost up a tire or the underneath of the car. So the computer driving of the car works. Go to Fort Myers, you put their address in, takes you to Fort Myers, back and forth. Go to Naples, same thing. Go to Miami, it does this, Take me to Houston's. We went to Houston's. So the car is in. So Saturday I went to Houston's for lunch. Had one wine too many. Prosecco. I had 3 glasses of Prosecco, and I could feel it, I'd probably be considered impaired. I said, "Marilyn, I'm hitting the home button on the car, and let it take us home because I'm impaired. The computer will certainly do a better job taking us home than me. Or you." So here we go. Push the button. It took us right to the front door of where we live. Unbelievable. So if you're incubated, if you had too many cocktails, use your full self-driving computer to take you home. And that's what I did. So instead of leaving your car there and taking an Uber home, hell no. Take your Tesla home and push the home button and then push activate full self-driving. Take you right to the front door. Now, with the next update, It supposedly is going to give you a feature so that you can have the car go to your actual parking spot number 266. All the parking spots are numbered. And with the watchful eyes of the computer, you can see all the parking spot numbers. So you got to go around like 3 times and then your nose straight in. It works. Well, Tesla's, I think, is having their, well, I know they're having their shareholder meeting today. It's Wednesday. It's 12:49. My puppy dog is sleeping over here in her little bed. And when I finish up here, we're going to go nighty night. But let's go. I'm sure that the lottery thing is now got the on whether anybody. Oops, nobody won. Tuesday, Friday. It says 150 million. I'm going to do a print screen of that. Do that. Do that. Right here, bring that over. 136, 43, 56, 58. No one won. Because instead of not available, it says 150. That means it stepped up another 10 million. So, fine with that. Save the photos. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how I update my actual spreadsheet. If you don't mind, let's just do it. Winning numbers, Mega Million. So here's the $140 million one that nobody won. That's why I went to roll over to 150. So I'm going to do a print screen on that, but now I'm going to get it real tight. Like that. Pull this over. Pull this down. It's like that. So the amount, you see the distance between the circle and the bottom. It's the same distance between the two ping pong balls. So I'm going to save that to photos. I'm going to close this up. And we'll go to photos. Make sure we're in recently saved. There we go, right here. Now the other magic thing we need to do is we need to brighten this up a little bit, or it looks dull and gray in the spreadsheet. Because I'm going to actually copy and paste this right into where all those numbers are. So we're going to hit adjust. And this right here, see that brightens it up. Then I'm going to go to black and turn that all the way up. Turn the color all the way up so that 7 jumps out at you a little bit. Contrast, let's see what happens with that. Shadow really doesn't do anything, so leave that on. Leave that alone. This is the one here. See the black lines? There we go. Like about there. All right, let's try that. Uh, saved. Okay. So now we're going to open up numbers, lottery. There it goes. It's opening it up. Remember, we went all the way to that edge. We want to get back over here, which we are here. So you see where it says roll over? I'm going to touch that and cut it. Now I'm going to go back to photos. And this right here is our numbers that we just cropped and everything. So there's a black box up on the top. Can't you see on the top right there? Opposite today, you go over, you see a black box with an arrow up. Touch that. And go down there where it says copy it. So we've copied it and that goes away. Now we're going to go back to the spreadsheet. And right here, I touch the empty box and I'm going to paste. Allow paste. Bingo. How do the numbers look? They look a little faint. I thought so. So, live television. I'm going to cut it. Cut. Go back to photos. You gotta brighten this up a little bit. It's not doing it. That does something. The brightness, that darkens the black lines. There we go. I guess we're gonna go negative on that, yeah. Let's come back up to here to this one now. We're gonna make sure that yellow ball doesn't get grossed out too much. Yellow with the little dark yellow on the bottom. That looks like about it. I just saved it. The box with the arrow up. Touch it. Touch copy photo. Go back to the spreadsheet. Touch the empty box. And paste. Allow paste. That looks better. Undo my glasses a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I could, for example, like the one right above it looks perfect. Let's touch that a couple of times. I don't know if that does anything. It doesn't. Screw it. Anyway, so let's see how we do that. Roll over. Copy it. Put it back up here. And we paste it. This number. Copy. Paste it. Double tap it. Look for the cursor. Change that to 5. Okay. All right. 150 million. Now from here, uh, I go right there, and I go all the way across. Copy everything. Copy this whole row. All 30, including that right there. Hit copy. And then arrow back to right there. And hit paste. So now all those formulas have copied across. They look marginally above. They do. And copy this yellow ball over this green one, because the green ball is, this is the next rollover, and that is April 24th. Yeah, so 3 days from yesterday, 2 days from today. Tuesday, Friday, Tuesday, Friday, Tuesday. So that's it. That's how I do this. I'm going to hit this in full screen mode now.
It's 1 o'clock.
It's 1 o'clock. So now I'm going to go right there. That's it. Do a print screen. Top button, side button at the same time. Bingo. Here's my thing. This shows the 3 payments increasing 5% each. Just crop out that little piece of white. There we go. And bring this over just a tad. There we go. Looks good. Check mark up in the top right, save the photos. Now I'm going to close my spreadsheet since we've updated the new numbers. So you got to wait a couple hours before they give you the numbers in the circles. So that way, see, it all looks pretty much the same. And I don't type anything, so I'm not afraid of going on this air with, make a typo, get everybody all upset. I touch the heart, so it's in this favorites. That's it. So we're ready for the next Mega Millions. I would also duplicate it, and then crop this one, and let's get rid of the second payment and the third payment. Just this is the panel I talk about. The lump sum jackpot. So the numbers are bigger. And here the numbers appear to be smaller only because we got 2 more rows of numbers for the second payment, third payment. I'm only showing the first payment. You can multiply it by 105% to see the 5% growing annuity. You see the caption columns. Jackpot, annual annuity, initial payment grows at 5% per year, pre-tax. Annual payment for the next payment grows 5% per year, pre-tax. Second year. The third and the same thing, and on and on, it keeps on growing. The magic is to calculate this first payment, because Yeah, the first payment, it keeps growing at 5% each. They all have to add up to 100 million. So that's that fancy formula to get that first payment. Now you can guess it, put it in there, and then keep stepping it up. $100 a payment. Yeah, because you know what it is for $100 million. You know what it is for 140 or 150. Just multiply that number by 1.5, and you're going to get that roughly. Yeah, that's it. So you can get close, and they keep going up. Now, see, I round to the nearest $100. That's why sometimes you're a little off with the last payment. But who cares? This is just I'm not working for the lottery. This is just for us. There you go. So now we got the rollover. We put in the actual winning numbers for the 104 because they're like 11,000 prizes on average for those that have tickets, which in my secret Mega Millions envelope under lock and key. Not true. It's just Scotch tape. And here is the ticket, which I'll check tomorrow. Yeah, I'll check that tomorrow or Monday, whatever. I mean, prizes range from $5 to $1 million, $2 million, $10 million. And they have those X's. So if you won the $1 million thing, which means you got all the numbers, but you didn't get the Mega Millions ball, that's $1 million ticket. And a 10X was next to it, you'd end up with 10 million. Wow. There's nothing wrong with winning 10 million either. Yeah. After tax, that's 7 million. Round numbers. That's enough to retire on and leave the kiddies a little money. All right, my watch is now fully charged. You can see the circle is complete. The whole. See the green there? Look, it went away. So now I put it on the list and go nighty night. It shows 98. 98 is close enough to 100%. It'll take the battery will run the watch for about a day and a half. So, but I'm usually always sitting here one time during the day, and I just put it on this little disc, and 20 minutes to charge it set up. And if I forget, I charge it up the next morning, because it runs a little more than a day and a half. Giving away all my secrets. Everything over here looks okay. Grab my phone. All right. You can see up here the elapsed time is 1 hour, 29 minutes, 41 seconds. Yeah. This is the actual time right here. 1 a.m. 1:08 and 8 seconds. Bam, right there. And yeah, you know how I close out the show, going back to this in full screen mode. There we go. And then I click. So I'm going to sit by. And then I click on it. Down here. The proper place in the control center, which you can't see. You can see on right here. It says episode 593. It's mega night edition. Instead of late night, I call it mega night because of Mega Millions. Talk about it. Just showed you how to update it and everything. All right, so I'm wishing you a good later in the day Wednesday in a few hours, 7 hours. You'll all be getting up. Those that are listening to me are insomniacs, or you work all night. You could be driving, on a trip. You could be, someone that's delivering the vegetables to Publix, driving all night long, from Mexico to somewhere. Because, you go on YouTube, you could be anywhere on the planet listening to this, right? With my handle, FAU for you. It's a simulcast with YouTube and Facebook. Now, Facebook, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Facebook dropped off again after about 5 or 10 minutes. I put messages, on my, right up here on the top, the ticker tape. It says we broadcast from our compact, well-equipped, 100 square foot, I had to even call it a studio, but, I went to a WSBR in Boca Raton. And it was in an office building. The station was in an office building, like on the second, third floor, something like that. And I walked, I went there with Dr. Strasser. He had a show on Saturday at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And it was a call-in show. And he had people calling in. A lot of people listen to WSBR. I don't know if it's still active or not. Let's do a little search. WSBR. There it is. Atlantis. Let's continue to type Boca Raton. Yeah. Let's forget the zip. Let's see what happens. And press. There we go. Let's see if it finds anything. 7:40 a.m. That's it. This is AM radio. WSBR. Listen live. Online radio box. And that's a new FM signal. I like that. There it is. South Florida's Money Talk Radio. Money Talk. All kinds of different broadcasts. Top financial experts. Hurricanes, people. But anyway, so I went into an office building in downtown suburban Boca Raton. I kind of forget what building it was in. North Federal Highway somewhere, I think. And so I said, so where's the studio? So they had these little suites like I'm sitting in right here, right now. And, you know, you had a phone with multiple lines, the WSBR phone lines. And when it's your time to be on the radio, you get your butt seated in there, you know, 5 or 10 minutes before your time comes on. And then when it's your time, you know, the guy points his finger at you, you're on, you know. And then you start talking and the phones start ringing, you know, or not. So I was amazed, you know. I expect to see a big studio, you know, like, because I remember visiting like NBC studios in New York. Big TV studio. WSBR is AM only, but now I understand they're getting an FM signal, which is good because, you know, most people don't like listening to AM radio, but they do. They listen to Dr. Strasser, I can tell you that. He had a broadcast on there. I wonder if he's still doing it. I asked him. Yeah. So I'm on the WSBR page
It's 1:15.
on Facebook. Yeah. There you go. There's my what do I want to say? So here's my camera roll that has been looked at, I guess. Goodness, my God. Wow. Interesting. Creative story. What's on your mind? That's what I'm used to. And I basically tell them, go to YouTube and listen to my show. Oh, gosh. So let's just see. Let's touch this. Get out of here. Let's go here. Yeah, so this is my, you can see it, that's my home page on Facebook. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Here's the 21st. You see a little ticker tape going across there? Live broadcast, Facebook. And then you see the YouTube reference. Now I'm going to touch this. Let's see what oops. Yeah, see, it only shows 5 minutes and 28 seconds worth of broadcast. And then it's dead. So at least, yeah, you see 5 minutes worth. And if you look at the ticker tape up top, it shows what the see down here, YouTube, youtube.com/ the @ FAU for you. Let's touch it. Now we're on my YouTube channel. And this would be the full broadcast. So they can 593 broadcasts. Good evening. And it shows Tuesday night, mega night. 48,000 Tuesday party viewers over a period of time. Here are a couple of stuff. 593 broadcasts. Good evening. Free. Yes. This looks a little. I don't know why this looks royalty free. All right, sports fans. I'm gonna say good night. If you will. I already said good night. Let me say it again. Yeah. Come back to this. I was just jumping around showing you stuff. I can't stop talking. So I'll pick this up again. Let's see. Wednesday. Got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday is. So this is Wednesday. This is early morning Wednesday, 1 a.m. All right. It's been nice chatting with you. And I will give you about 30 seconds or a minute of my favorite background music. Bye-bye. Epidemic Sound Instrumental. You can find it on YouTube Music.